Harry Potter films are packed with action, magical creatures, spells, potions, wizards, witches, drama, love and laughter. But there are also some scenes which show the darker side of the story. Scenes of sadness, pain and sorrow. Check out our picks as you take a look through our top 10 saddest Harry Potter movie scenes. Our first entry is the death of Harry's pet and loyal friend Hedwig. The owl was given to our hero by Hagrid in Diagon Alley before Harry even started at Hogwarts and has been his constant companion since that time. Not only had she been a cool pet, but she also doubled up as a free parcel delivery service and provided Harry a great opportunity to meet Cho Chang at the Owlery. Hedwig was also his connection to the wizarding world, as she stayed with him at Privet Drive during those awful summer holidays at the Dursleys. So when Hedwig finally meets her demise while trying to protect Harry from Dementor's killing curse during the Battle of the Seven Potters, it hits our hero very hard. Come on JK, first his parents and now his pet owl? What's next? Planning on killing his godfather or something? Oh, wait, didn't that already happen? Next up is the scene where Hermione is hanging out at home and her mum calls her for dinner. So what's on the menu tonight for dinner at the Granger house? A bowl of spaghetti? Oh no, tonight we're having a double helping of Obliviate. As she raises a wand and casts a spell whilst her parents are sat on the sofa happily watching TV, we see Hermione's image disappearing from family photos. These once happy memories are now lost forever. In this scene, Hermione decides to sacrifice her ties and breaks the family bond in order to shield her parents from being involved in what was coming during the dark days ahead, and also to save them from any pain if something terrible were to happen to their daughter. Up next is the scene from the first movie when Harry escapes from Filch in the restricted section of the library under the invisibility cloak and finds himself in a room he's not been in before. In front of him is a mirror with strange writing on it, so he goes up to take a look. And what does our hero see? Well, nothing more than his parents standing beside him. Seriously? His parents have been hiding in a mirror for over 10 years? In this scene, Harry first thinks there might be a chance his parents could come back to him. Watching his reflection in the mirror, it looks to be the first moment in his life when he's truly happy and feels a sense of belonging. It's also the first time he sees his parents as older people. But when Ron takes a look and sees himself as head boy and Quidditch champion, it becomes clear that the mirror actually shows what a person most desires in the world, and not necessarily what can be. I mean, seriously, Ron as Quidditch champion? That's never going to happen. Okay, so you're on an epic quest. You've done your Repeller Muggledom or whatever it is, and it's just you, your best mate and the girl you love out in the fresh air having the adventure of your lives, tracking down Horcruxes and saving the world. What could possibly go wrong? Well, maybe everything could. After Ron had received a good splinching, he becomes manipulated and twisted by the Horcrux locket. His mind starts to turn to darker thoughts, and finally, frustration, jealousy, anger and insecurity overcomes him, and boom. Bye-bye best friend and bye-bye future wife. Ron disapparates. Now this is a really sad moment on a number of levels. Firstly, it looks to be the end of the triumphant trio, as surely Ron will never be able to find them again. But deeper than that, it was a betrayal of his best friend. So you've had another vision. Something terrible is going to happen to Sirius, and you were right last time about Arthur being attacked, so what do? Well, obviously you gather together a few of your mates and head down to the Department of Mysteries at the Ministry of Magic. Unfortunately, this time it's a trap. Things end up looking pretty grim for our heroes as they are surrounded by Death Eaters, when out of nowhere the Order of the Phoenix arrive to save the day. Battle ensues and spells and curses are flying all over the place. Sirius is mashing up Lucius Malfoy when out of nowhere Bellatrix Lestrange slams an Avada Kedavra at Harry's godfather. He then falls through an archway never to be seen again. What? Seriously? Did that just actually happen? The scene was all set up for the powers of good to be victorious, vanquishing the Death Eaters, followed by some serious celebrations at the Order of the Phoenix HQ. How could this have happened? As Lupin holds Harry back from the archway, the sense of shock is unbearable. He's lost just about everyone dear to him. I just hope nothing happens to Dobby. Our first introduction to the Weasley family focuses on the identical twin brothers Fred and George. These mischievous twins did everything together. They pretended to be each other, they attempted to trick the Goblet of Fire together, they used the Marauders map together, they played Quidditch together, and they even went into business together selling Weasley's Wizarding Wheezes. But all that now seems like a different life, a world lost forever after the Battle of Hogwarts. In the aftermath of battle, stunned figures shuffle about the Great Hall, exhausted and drained, whilst families and friends mourn their dead. And amongst the dead is a familiar figure. Arthur and Molly have lost a son. George has lost a twin brother. Fred Weasley has become one of the battle's fatalities. Then the final blow comes as the bodies of Lupin and Tonks are revealed, hands stretched out towards each other, united in death, leaving little Teddy Lupin an orphan. So Professor Snape is slumped on the ground dying, after having been attacked by Nagini. As he lays there with tears trickling down his face, he begs Harry to take them. Harry gathers a tear in a vial given to him by Hermione, and after Snape has breathed his last breath, takes the tear to the pensieve in Dumbledore's office. Harry watches as Snape's memories play out his unrequited love for Lily, how he turns spy for Dumbledore in exchange for Lily's protection, how he cradled Lily after she died, and how he secretly guarded Harry from afar because he had her eyes. So it turns out in the end that Snape was not the complete complete idiot we all thought he was. And when we think it literally could not be any more emotional, Snape reveals his Patronus as a doe. The same doe that showed Harry where the sword of Gryffindor was. The same doe as Lily Potter's. Dumbledore utters "after all this time?" and Snape simply replies "always," revealing that he has always loved Lily and always will. With Snape's true character revealed, there's not a dry eye in sight. Okay, so in the earlier movies, this little guy was a serious nuisance. He dropped a cake over guests at the Dursleys' dinner party, for which Harry got the blame, and stopped Harry getting any mail from his friends over the summer. He also closed platform 9 3/4 when Harry was trying to return to Hogwarts, forcing Harry and Ron to try and get to the school in Ron's dad's flying Ford Anglia, and got Harry injured during a Quidditch match in an attempt to get him sent home. Okay, so perhaps he was a little misguided, but Dobby's actions were taken with the aim of protecting Harry. At the end of the movie, Harry is able to free Dobby from the servitude of the Malfoys, and the two become firm friends and allies. And later, in the Deathly Hallows Part 1, when our heroes are captured, imprisoned and tortured at Malfoy Manor, Dobby arrives to save the day. They gather together and Dobby defiantly tells Bellatrix Dobby has come to save Harry Potter and his friends, and then they disapparate to safety. But wait, wasn't there something flying through the air towards them at that very moment? As they land back at the beach, Harry sees Dobby staggering around, clutching his stomach. He runs towards the elf, who collapses in his arms, and a bloodstained knife falls to the ground. As Dobby fades away, he utters his last words. Dobby is happy to be with his friend Harry Potter, and then he is gone. Right from the first moment when we see Cedric and his dad, Amos Diggory, on their way to the Quidditch World Cup, we can tell that he is the ultimate proud father. His son is a popular cool young man who has a great future ahead of him and becomes the official Hogwarts champion for the Triwizard Tournament. No doubt Amos has been boasting to anyone who'll listen about how wonderful his son is, and that it's a foregone conclusion that his son will be first out of the maze in the final challenge, triumphantly bearing aloft the Triwizard Cup to the acclaim and applause of all present. So at that moment when there's a flash and figures appear, Amos must have been on the edge of his seat as Harry, the cup and Cedric land in front of the crowd. Rapturous applause turns to stunned silence, and confusion gives way to the realisation that something terrible has happened. As Amos shouts "that's my son" and collapses down, you can see the pain of the father who is unable to protect his son, and the hopes he had for his son's great future turn to dust. And at number 1 in our list is when Harry heads out of the castle to sacrifice himself. The Battle of Hogwarts has taken its toll on both sides. Hogwarts lies in ruins and the dead will rise no more. Harry passes Ron and Hermione, clutching each other on the stairs, and tells them he knows why he can hear the Horcruxes. At this point it becomes clear that there's no other option. Horcrux Potter has to die. Alone he heads into the Forbidden Forest and the tension mounts. Harry finally manages to open the Golden Snitch by acknowledging he's ready to die, and the Resurrection Stone is revealed to him. As he holds it, otherworldly figures of Lily, James, Sirius and Remus appear, and as he reaches for his mother's loving grasp, their hands pass through each other, almost together again but not quite. The stone falls from his hands and they're gone. Harry heads towards the Death Eaters, and Hagrid, chained to the ground, echoes what we're all thinking. Harry, what are you doing here? Voldemort's wand is raised. Surely this is the end. The point of no return when the Dark Lord will become the ultimate victor, and darkness will reign over the wizarding world. Or will it? So this has been our top 10 saddest Harry Potter movie scenes, and there were some pretty heart-wrenching choices in there. Do you agree with our picks, or can you think of other scenes which pull at the heartstrings even more? As usual, let us know, and like, comment and subscribe.